I just gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture. Japan is all about the respect.
Hello midgets, welcome back to another video. So this is definitely just different to what I usually do, and I can feel that I'm going to spend a lot of time editing this. This is going to take me forever, and editing the thumbnail, because we're going to try and make this one look good for once. But basically, I'm at my desk right now, and for most of this it's gonna you'll be able to see me because there'll be clips being rolled, I guess. But right now, what you should be seeing is the disclaimer. So, looking at the title, it says your review, and then a list of names. The main person I'm going to talk about is Logan Paul, and we've all heard a lot about him. I just remembered that my fan's on, and I should go turn it off. Give me a second.
Okay, there we go. So, as I was saying, this topic has been talked about a lot throughout the year, and then me, like 12 months later, is like, I'm gonna do a video on it, so it's kind of strange. And, the reason I thought of it is I was listening to, an episode of the Campcast. It's a podcast by, James Marriott. I hope I said that right. And I'm Alex. I'll put it in the description. So it was actually episode 2, and yes, I know I'm very far behind for those who do know it. Anyway, and they were talking about it, because at the time it was fairly recent, I think. And I was like, why don't I do a video on it? Because as a student, I saw the point of view of other people who did watch it and how that affected them, whereas these adults who are doing reviews on it didn't have that point of view. They didn't see that effect on. They saw some of the effect on their audience, but not like some of the regular, I guess, teenagers watching his videos.
So first I would like to go over the main points that you've all heard before from other people's videos, just to briefly go over it. And so first of all, it's like he's a bad role model. Like, he knows that he's a bad role model, and some of his videos are just like really weird because his viewers are 8 years old, okay? And that's younger than PewDiePie's 9-year-old army, okay? So, let's just, I'm gonna look at some of the things, one of the things that's mainly brought up, and what he does. So another thing is, so he did multiple videos, of him while he was in Japan, and they're all still up from what I know. Logan Paul did, and they are the only one that was deleted, although they all were very disrespectful, some disrespectful, some were more than others, and as we know, one is now down, because that was the one where he videos a dead body, and it's a shame the rest aren't down, because I think we're gonna take a look at some clips from how rude he was when he was in Japan altogether. So here, there's this YouTuber who is called We the Unicorns. I haven't heard of them, but they have put together a just over 2-minute compilation of just Logan Paul being really disrespectful in Japan. And of course, he obviously starts off by saying, you know, Japan's all about the respect, and then continues to be like, just forgets about it in the span of 3 seconds. So maybe this confirms that he's a goldfish. We don't know, this conspiracy theory, okay? But maybe that's the truth. He's a goldfish.
I just gotta be careful to not disrespect the culture. The dumb Americans have arrived.
He keeps being really loud, especially in the temple, and when he wishes, when he goes to the I don't know what it is, little shrine-ish area where you have to put coins in and make a wish, and everyone's quiet and being respectful at the temple, and then he's really loudly says, "What do you want?" And let's just play the third one for you.
Happiness and hella bitches.
Yeah, and let's remind you that his audience is like maybe even like 7 to 12, and maybe a couple of teenagers as well. Next, he basically goes around just screaming on the top of his lungs his shop where you can buy his merch.
LOGANPaul.com/shop.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, to be honest. And then he also goes and buys, like, I don't know, small game, I don't know what it is. And then he throws it on the floor multiple times, running around, throwing on the floor like a headless chicken. And it comes apart multiple times, and then he takes it back to the shop and says, "Oh, it seems like it's not working." It's just, what? And then he dresses up in a Pikachu onesie, and then goes around with a Pokeball and starts throwing it at people. And it's just so stupid. Like, what is he doing? And you can see on these faces, these people are clearly annoyed. They're just like, what are you doing? Get out. Get out of my country. That's what they're saying. And then he does this.
Coming down. I just gotta be careful to not like disrespect the culture.
I'm just gonna not comment, really. Just look at him. And another thing he does is he like goes and buys like a fish and some other type of like seafood, and he goes and just like waves in people's faces. And there's just this one girl who looks like really disturbed by it. And yeah, he just walks around disturbing people with these pieces of seafood, and then and he just lies on the ground as well. He just is being crazy. Like, I don't know how he does that. Like, anyway, there's so many things he did, and then once he has had enough of it, he just kind of dumps it on this taxi, and just goes and leaves it there, just waltzes away. It's not right. Okay, so now the actual fact that he showed a dead body on the camera, and everything he did in Japan was just so disrespectful. And then he shows a dead body, and first of all, it like got 5 to 6K likes, and like, so that's like 500,000, 600,000 kids that were like, this is good, this is right, Logan knows what's right and did this for us. So like, that's what they probably thought, or if you ask them about it, that's probably what they thought. And oh my gosh, it's just so wrong. Like, these kids are brainwashed basically by his content, and we'll see some examples of that in a minute. And then he later on does apology on Twitter. I think he did 2 apology videos, and we'll look at one in a minute now. And here's just some small clips from the video. I'm not gonna, there's like, I think people re-uploaded the video, and I had a friend who they saw the video when it came out, and they screen recorded the whole thing, or them just part with the dead body, because they knew it was going to be taken down. A lot of people said that he like laughed, and like the whole thing was just so wrong. Like, he had so many points, there was so many times where he could have been like, no, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Walking into the place, no, you know what, I can turn around and I don't have to go in there and see what I can find. Or once he came across it, he could turn off the camera, or even if he recorded it, he could have blurred it out, which is the least he could have done, really. His editor said, oh, this is fine, this is good content, I'm gonna let this pass. And then also he could have just been a bit more respectful. He did laugh at the body, where a lot of people were angry about that, but I mean, he could just be nervous. But like, he probably thought the thoughts going through his mind probably wasn't, oh gosh, this is sad, I shouldn't be doing this. She's probably like, oh, look at my life, this happens, exciting stuff, look at this, so exciting for the vlog. It's not what everyone probably thought it was, or his viewers thought it was. Okay, for this apology video, straight off the bat, it's obvious that he's probably reading a script. So maybe he wrote it, maybe someone else wrote it for him, who knows. But he oh my gosh, these dogs barking in the background. I'm trying to make a video here, but anyway, it's obvious that he didn't think of this himself. I don't think this would have come from him, and all of this, he probably doesn't care because he got more views and more subscribers afterwards. This gave him more attention. This worked out well for him actually. So why would he be actually that sad? He apologizes and says there's a lot of things he should have done differently. And yeah, that's very true. There's a lot of things. I don't know if he actually feels that, but and he apologized to anyone who viewed the video because there might have been an increase of suicides after his video. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think there was even a trigger warning. So that's just, oh my god, he's like, that's just wrong as well. Like, there were so many small things that he could have at least done this. Still would have been pretty much as rude, but it could have just helped out a lot of people. He could have paid respects, he could have put a trigger warning, he could have blurred out the body. Even if he'd posted on everything on YouTube, but he still did absolutely nothing. Maybe he was just feeling lazy as well. Like, that's pretty lazy. Maybe just didn't think about it, didn't care. Apologizes to the victim, who can't hear him now, but he apologized to his family, and I don't know if his family will have watched this video, but oh my god, like, I would hate that if that happened to me, if he recorded me, to be honest. And yeah, he mentions that there's many people defending him, many 8-year-old midgets defending him, and he says that they shouldn't, and that's right, I'd say. And we'll look at this fan that put a video that's, oh my god, so cringy, and defending him. So we'll look at that. Let's just see if I can get through this video. Only like 30 seconds left. Now going on to the fans' perspectives. Here's someone who claims that they're #1 fan. A message from Logan Paul's #1 fan. That's the title. Who's excited? I'm not.
Help me.
We're gonna do this. Because I'm making a video on this. So let's go. 5 seconds into this, and it's disgusting because he does everything that Logan does. Like, I've seen also before friends in my class doing stuff like that. Not so much anymore because it became just cringe to do anything that he does, because it was kind of, now everyone knew about it. The people who don't watch him were like, okay, what he did was stupid. And then, okay, I'll talk about it later, but just basically a bunch of his fans copy him, and now there's a bunch of clones of him, and that's just not gonna work out well. Oh, look at his face. He's just like, he looks pretty disappointed in Logan, but we'll see where this goes. Okay, he basically says everything that Logan says. He, as I said, is a clone. He looks like him. He's just a bit chubbier than the real one, and but he isn't wearing his merch, so I mean, maybe not a exact clone, but it close enough, you know, just a younger version of him, that's saying everything he's saying. So roll the music of Copycat. Okay, so what he's saying is also a bit like what Logan's tweet was. I have a screenshot here that I found on the internet that says, "Dear Internet, I am sorry." Okay, he said this before. This is a first for me. I've never faced criticism like this before. I'm just not gonna read it out loud, but you can see the main points. So he says he's never faced criticism like this before, but his videos get so many views. He's done like kind of scandal-like things before, and he's gone in trouble before, and he's faced a lot of criticism like this before, just maybe not as much. And he says, yeah, he can do wrong. It was a big oopsie, let's say. Next, he says he didn't do it for views, and that he gets views. And he said he did it because he thought it'd give a positive effect. So if he really thought about it, if he give a second thought for it, he wouldn't have posted it. And if he really meant that he wanted a positive effect on the internet, he did it for views. And come on, that's obvious. Everything he does like this is for views. So he says he's made a 15-minute TV show. It's not really a TV show. 15-minute video every single day for the past 460 plus days. And yeah, that he says that it's kind of basically easy to get caught up in the moment. But like he can take a break if he wants. If he feels the pressure, he could just quickly post something, and people might not be happy about it, but if he needs to do that, then he should do that, right? And then he is often reminded of how much, he says, "I'm often reminded of how big of a reach I truly have. With great power comes great responsibility." Is that a Spider-Man reference? I feel like it is. He is the real life Spider-Man, just not as good. Well, in fact, he doesn't do any good. And yeah, he does have a big influence. And then at the end, you can see him just like kind of really wanting to say, "Oh, look at the merch, go get the merch." Like with the hashtag Logan for life, I wouldn't be surprised if he put after, "Go check out the merch." Like that would not surprise me. So back to this kid. Okay, let's get a zoom in on his face because I feel like he deserves it. He then says like everyone makes mistakes, and that's true. I'm not saying it's not, but then he compares what Logan did with your parents getting you the wrong Christmas present. So yeah, quite a big difference. Okay, this part is actually really annoying. He says so then people then take it and then criticize it and to show to more people. But like the point is, you want to spread the fact that what he did was wrong, and it hopes to get like more of his videos from Japan down, or he should have gone like a strike or something. He got his YouTube Red series back. Like, where's Scare PewDiePie? That should have come back, to be honest. And and he's saying, "Oh, well, all you're doing is just doing this to get it to more people." Yeah, that's the point. We're trying to, especially so it doesn't happen again. Like, we want it to be spread to as many more people and tell why it's wrong as possible. Like, oh, that's so annoying. No, at the end of the video, he tells you to do this joke, and he says, if you're 10 or younger, don't do it. And he's 10. He's 10. I just checked. I just spent a couple minutes checking this, how old this guy is. He's 11 years old now, but at the time of uploading this, he was 10. This is just kind of sad. On to the next point then. So throughout that day or that week, when they were still supporting him, they made points like that he's just like one of the points that came up a lot was that he's just a young guy doing young things, and you get caught up in it all, and he's just trying to be cool or this or that, and he's being young and stuff. And like, oh, he's young, he can make mistakes. That was something they were saying a lot. But he's 23 years old. He's an adult. Like, I feel like he should have thought about his decisions more. Like, and I don't know what his brother's reaction to it. His brother is 21 years old as well. Not as well, but like, they're both adults. So I don't, that point just doesn't really make sense. He should have thought about it more. And then I would just keep saying, well, it's wrong, and you'd point out like proper points why, like, it's just really obvious to just a normal person who has some common sense why it's wrong. And then to his fans, they're like trying to defend him, but they most of the time can't find enough reason to say, to talk about it, and like, and say, well, no, you're wrong. He made a mistake, and it's okay because blah blah blah. They can find that reason. So the points they made were rather stupid. And now, especially like a couple months after, at the start of the new school year, no one talks about it. Or if you bring it up, they will say how they don't support them now, and because if they did, people would say, oh my god, how could you, after what he's done. Of course, there are still a bunch of kids, from that video, you can prove it, that who are still like obsessed with him, because they don't realize what's wrong with it. A bunch of 8-year-olds probably don't. And yeah, 500,000 to 600,000 people thought, well, this is alright, this is fine, nothing wrong with this, and continue with their days. And then a lot of people, they were talking about it. So many people on YouTube who've talked about it were just like, how could this be uploaded? Is it true? It isn't real. And then they get to it, and it's like, oh my gosh, it is real. And it was all pretty stupid. No one could believe it at first. So that's the points I made in this video. Hope this is a bit new than what everyone else has said, because a lot of the people, I guess, who have talked about it haven't seen the reaction of the other kids around them. And they've just kind of seen through the screen what other people think. And I think most of the younger viewers still are obsessed with them. And then the slightly older viewers have realized it actually won't look good for them if they do continue to like them anyway. So that's why they stopped. But he did get more popular after all of this. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and some of my returning subscribers might know that my channel's name has changed. Yeah, there's a video talking about that coming up soon, and I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, midgets. After all this, you've seen the effect he's done on his fans. I mean, just look at this kid's arms. Like, look what he does. Like, Logan does the exact same thing. It's kind of really annoying. Probably said that multiple times throughout this video. And like the people in my class did the same thing. So at the start of this year, when this happened, like, or before it happened, like, the kids in my class were all hyped about him. And then on the day that this, like, happened, like, all the morning after he posted it, they come in and they're, like, louder than usual. I'm just minding my business, okay? And they're louder than they usually are, to the point where it's kind of annoying, and I'm like, okay, what's up? Like, one of the kids saying, look at this, oh my god, I screen recorded it, I took screenshots of it, and they're just saying, oh my god, look at this, oh my gosh, he did this. They didn't mention anything about how it's wrong, and they used to talk like him, and I find out about this, and I'm like, why? No, stop. And then, like, they talk about it all day, and And then they're basically obsessed with him. They just all the time they will talk about him, even after this happens, throughout that week. And they kind of quieted down over the next few weeks, because they realize what he did was wrong, and everyone thinks it's wrong, and they're going to be judged now for liking him, because they're still supporting him after what he did. And I don't think they should. One more thing I would like to mention is that I was inspired to do this by listening to the Campcast, and it was on episode 2. I'm very far behind. Someone who did talk about this, which I saw, was PewDiePie. I'm Alex talked about it a bit. I'm not sure about some other people. H3 Productions did, and I got some of the clips from We the Unicorns from when he was in Japan. So I'll put links to them in the description box below so you can check them out. And have a nice day.